He has sounded forth the trumpets that shall never sound retreat. He is sifting out the hearts of men before his judgment seat.
Hey out there, this is Thursday, October 10th, 2019. And it's just about, about 2.5 minutes before 9 in the morning here in Northern California. And today, as usual, I'll get into a lot of different stuff. I kind of wanted the theme to be continuing to identify tyranny and then discuss what can be done to fight tyranny. And seeing this task as an obligation, a responsibility, a duty, more than just exercising our rights as good Americans. And I say good American loosely because I believe that anybody, anywhere in the whole world can be a good American. And it involves principles, precepts, and ideas, values, basically. Good, wholesome American values, which are God and country, family, things like that, right? Constitutional, God-given rights, free speech. We have the obligation, the responsibility, the right, the duty to seek happiness. And happiness, of course, is a vague, kind of ambiguous term because there's a lot of components, a lot of facets, a lot of elements involved in well-rounded happiness. So once you identify who the tyrants are, and again, just to, make sure, cut to the chase here, make sure everybody understands who I'm talking about. We're talking about a very tiny minority that's in control of this game, this big giant board game called international affairs. And the ones running it are the top money lovers. These are the ones that will stop at nothing to get their way because their love of money runs so deep. It's part of who they are. They would rather have control over money than they would have life. They'd rather die than lose the power and control that comes with the money. So these people have a huge advantage, if you want to call it an advantage. I say that loosely too because, of course, in the long run, they're idiots. They're foolish, and they will not be able to give account on Judgment Day. But they have an advantage in the sense that while normal people that are trying to gravitate toward their godly nature, that is the one that involves a soul and a conscience and caring about things like integrity and honor and reputation, all those things that normal, decent, upright people care about. You see, since they throw those things, those values to the wind and consider them as foolishness, those values that other people hold dear, they wouldn't sell for anything in the whole world. These people, you understand why they have an advantage? So, it says a lot right there. And you got to understand this tiny minority. These are the top politicians. Your Nancy Pelosi's and your Slick Willies and your Chucky Schumers and on in that theme. You get the point. I mean, it crosses Democrat, Republican lines. It's across the aisle. These people will squabble over little stuff. And I believe that they're delusional, and that's why they do such a good job at coming across like they really have real differences. But at the end of the day, they're in lockstep on the really important issues that affect the vast majority of American citizens, Americans at large, let's say. And point of reference would be the bailout in '08. Here these top politicians across the aisle, Democrats and Republicans, liberals and conservatives, socialists and capitalists, all put their stamp of approval. That's the way that bailout went through. Do you understand? So who are the top criminals? It's these people. And then they think that they got to teach the American people, well, you're just too stupid, even though 90% of you were opposed to this bailout. You're just stupid. You're just, the dumb commoners, the plebs, right? You don't know nothing. You're the unwashed, uneducated masses out there. And we are the anointed ones that know better, even though these are our employees, right? They're working on our dime. They're sustained by the tax dollar, right? That's what pays their salaries. They vote themselves raises for doing an abysmal job, for driving up our cost of living, debasing, deworthing, diluting our money. You understand? You've got to understand the direct correlation. When your cost of living goes up, that means the worth of your currency went down. Just like a scale. It's the simplest thing in the world to understand. Why I'm opposed to this national debt, okay? Who's paying the price when we're creating more and more multi-billionaires, more and more multi-millionaires? All these top politicians, they go into office poor. Look at Obama, for example. Who was he, a community leader? Anybody could be a community leader. What's that? You just anoint yourself to go out there and, hey, I'm really somebody, and I'm out here for this cause or that cause. I really give a damn. Okay, and he's a big fat traitor, just like Bush was. Okay, Obama was no more a friend to black men than George Bush was to white men. Okay, he was a perfect puppet, Obama was. And now we got all this business with the whistleblowers. Do you know Obama cracked down harder on whistleblowers than any other previous president? Do you understand? Where is the mainstream media educating you on that fact? Are they talking about that? Yet we're supposed to hail these new whistleblowers on Trump as great heroes, and they deserve anonymity, and hey, just trust us, believe us. I mean, God, we heard this from reliable sources, secondhand information, hearsay information. But hey, man, we're in it. We're going to impeach him now for what he talked to this president of Ukraine about. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The sky is falling. They turn a molehill into a mountain. This is the propaganda machine, how the mainstream media works. Okay? Who are they working for? So who is above these top politicians? It's the bankster class. Okay? I'm not talking about your local bank, your local credit union. Don't blame anybody on a local level. All this stuff is coming from this top, this tiny critical mass. Okay? So these top politicians are not lapdogs for we the people as they ought to be. Okay? The only legitimate government is you, is me, is we the people. Not we some of the people, we selective, exclusive, privileged people. No. That's as un-American as it gets. Okay? These people are lapdogs for the money printing class. That's the bankster, gangster type I'm talking about. 22 plus trillion and counting in debt. Who is paying that debt? They're diluting the money. Do you see how that? Whoa, hey, there's more. We'll make some more. Just pour some more in there. What do you think that does? When you got a huge segment of people that are financially well-heeled, they're out there, I don't care, I'll pay anything, whatever. This is a good investment, that's a good investment. I got tons of dough, I got money to burn. Driving up your cost, that's how it works. So they don't care that they dilute the money. You say, well, it affects them too. They ought to care. They don't. They just give themselves more. Remember, the politicians vote themselves raises. How outrageous, can you vote yourself a raise at your job? Do unions even have that? Well, they might be out on, they might lose it completely. The company might shut down. They might outsource the labor, take it to another country, bring in migrants. They've got options. But these people have us by the throat, you understand? And they should not have us by the throat. We've let them get us by the throat. And we're in a lot of trouble as a result of it. We're in it deep. We're way down this demonic rabbit hole toward hell. And if we keep allowing this to happen, the sky's the limit. These people are like snot-nosed, bratty children with a sugar high that have taken over the candy store with baseball bats, intimidating everybody and telling you you're not going to parent them. They're going to parent you. And they're going to be very slick, very scientific about it, unlike those snot-nosed, spoiled brat kids that took over the candy store. These people have it down to a science. They know what they're doing. They're going to push this envelope as far as they can. And only you can decide how far they get. It's by us unifying, which is the opposite of what they want us to do, coming together as socialists, as capitalists, as liberals, as conservatives, as Democrats, as Republicans, and saying all those things are just made up terms to divide us on a local level, to keep us off the real target, okay, to muddy the waters, to change our focus from where it should be on these monsters. They're thieves. They're liars. They're cheaters. And worst of all, they're murderers. Remember, they think you're foolish if you care about your conscience. They're colluding. Do you understand? All these people are colluding with each other against the best interests of the American people. They're evildoers. I say that without a hint of equivocation, because I'm 100% convinced that these people are sociopaths. And if you look up that term, you find these are people that have little or no regard for conscience. They think they're above you, better than you. They're elitist. They're hypocrites. Do you understand? They live by a double standard. They think they're better than you. They think they're smarter than you. And they're in the position because they're some kind of an anointed